This is your 2021 BMW X5. It's the plug-in hybrid, so it is the xDrive 45e. We're going to do things a little differently this time. Instead of the usual Quirks, Irks, and Irks, we're going to charge the vehicle. So a charging port is on the diagonal side from the gas tank, which is on the passenger side at the rear. So I'm at Media Fleet Canada, and they take care of a bunch of manufacturers. And the owner, Boo, who's a good friend of mine, was kind enough to let me use his charger, so it was supplied by Ford. So thank you, Ford, indirectly for helping. So basically, you just take it off, and really simple. Honestly, all you do is plug it in. But before I plug it in, I'm going to show you what the dashboard looks like right now. Get a clear look at that right there. So there's not much happening right now. It's just giving you what the mileage is so far and my total to date. So I'm going to plug it in, nice and easy. You hear the click, and that's it. What happens now is the dashboard changes. So you can see my current range is 1 kilometer. I pretty much drained the battery. The estimated charging time will be 8:54 p.m. I'm going to zoom in on the top corner. So right now it is 2:44 in the afternoon. So again, just back to take a quick look at what happens in the dashboard. So you can see right there, it's maximum 16 amps, and it's going from the charging bank into the vehicle. And that's what the little blue confirmation is. Sorry, it's a little wobbly. I'm trying to straighten it out for you guys. At the bottom left of the dashboard, it's 1 kilometer, and that coincides with that, with the current range. And max range is 44, plus the 1 is 45, and that's what you got at 100. So I know I've gotten a lot more. It's been an up and down week as far as electric driving has gone. But anyways, that's what your dashboard will look like once you plug in the charger. So again, nice and easy. Let's do a quick Quirks, Irks, and Irks. Not much has changed here from last year. Last year being the 2 years ago being the beginning of the 4th generation. So it's a carryover model. It's the first time they've done a plug-in hybrid for the 4th generation. They had one in the 3rd generation, but low range, small battery, nothing overly exceptional, but leaps and bounds this time. So typical front end for the new BMW design language. Paid upgrade is the Black Dog grille. You get a camera on all 4 corners of the vehicle. You get laser lights, which is also a paid upgrade. You can tell because it's got blue there in case you can't read the word blue laser from afar. I love the rims. They're 5-spoke. They're the Y-spoke. They look so cool. And big 21-inch tires here. So it really helps frame the X5 really nicely. Back to where we started, you get a nice side profile. Again, not much has changed this time around. Standard 2-axle air suspension, so it goes up and down a few inches. We'll do a little bit of a display on that later on. And going around to the rear, again, standard stuff here. Not much has changed. You do get green plates, which is cool, so you can go in the HOV lanes. The Irk here is this vehicle as of the beginning, or sorry, the end of April. Not eligible for any of the federal or provincial rebates in Ontario. Open up the trunk for you, have you take a quick look. So 2 pieces again, bottom part and the top part. Yes, you can adjust the top height in case you're a little on the shorter side. I'm happily and extremely average as far as height goes, but I don't want to risk bumping my head, so I have it up all the way. A little bit of storage under here. That's where your charging port goes if you want to have a home charger, or if you have it at home and you want to plug it in that way, so that gets tucked away. Oops, let's put that away the right way. Right there. So you do lose a little bit of space. I think it's like under 30 liters of cargo space by having the battery, which is underneath the rear seats. But aside from that, you still have tons of space. It's hardly even noticeable at all. You can also lock all the doors and just close up the trunk as it is. So the bottom part goes up first, and the top part goes down at the end. Let's try and make this one big seamless transition. So you get the rear seats pretty comfortable here, 40, 20, 40 split. That's the notch to get your outside seats. And if you want to get your middle seat down, you pull that down, and then there's this little tab here. And then whenever we're allowed to go skiing again or snowboarding, that's a perfect spot for it right there. I'm gonna put that back up for you. Some HVAC controls back here, and storage that tilts downwards so things don't fall out. And you get 3-stage heated seats for your outboard passengers. A little power source right there as well. You have your manual sunshades. If I can do it with one hand, anyone can do it, and saves you a few $100 on tinting. But then again, if you're spending, oops, I can put it up. I can't get it down. We're gonna keep this part in. Come on. There we go. A little more harder than I thought. Yeah, anyways, if you're spending nearly 100 grand on a vehicle, maybe you don't want to save some money on the tinting. All right, there's the inside of the door panel. Again, very, very clean and elegant. No complaints there. There's your gas door button to open up your gas door. I like that there's storage in here. Seats move every single which way. I like that there's a thigh adjuster. I like that you can adjust the headrest from up to down, and the top part of the seat also gets adjusted as well. Lots of different ways to contour the seats to exactly how you want them. And yes, your side bolsters, which are massive and thick, can also come in a little bit to give you a little bit of extra support. Let's just quickly jump in. I'm not going to start the vehicle up because, again, it is on the charger. I will close the door to kind of keep things a little quieter. So again, you've seen this tons of times on the BMWs that I've reviewed for the past couple of years. Fully digital dash, nice and easy to get all your information out of. Nice big thick steering wheel. The whole wheel is heated steering wheel button right in the middle. Same thing with the infotainment system. Nice and big and clean, and one of my favorites in the industry, both luxury and non-luxury. It's just so easy to use. I have no issues with it at all. You know, I've done enough of these. I'm not going to waste your time with this. You do get, as a paid upgrade, heated and cooled seats, also known as heated and cooled cup holders. There's a red for, there's a blue for cold. There's a red for heated. I don't know, a little gimmicky, but whatever. Paid upgrade, wireless charger, wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. I hardwire my Apple CarPlay in all the time. I just want that extra bit of charging. Whatever. If I can get some extra juice in my phone, if I'm driving anyway, then why not? HVAC stuff here. The cool thing here is, I'm pretty sure I've shown it to you before. You put it on, and a little graphic there. So digital, as well as hard touch buttons. I think it's a really smart move. Same thing. Again, everything that you need is right there. What else can we talk about real quick? Crystal gear shifter, paid upgrade. I love it. I love it because it's just, I know it's kind of cool. So you can see there's only one X. And it's right at the top there. You kind of get that prism feel through it, and you kind of get that nice, cool light pattern. And if you look at it from here, there's 1X, there's 2Xs, there's 3Xs, and there's 4Xs. So it's just the way the crystal is patterned and designed. I think it looks really cool. Fun fact and kind of a perk, it's white during the day, and it turns into orange at nighttime, so that's kind of cool. I don't care for this because you can see all my fingerprints, but there's not really a reason to touch any of this. All your buttons are here. I kind of get that cool crystal-esque start-stop button. Here are your drive modes. We'll talk more about that in the actual driving portion itself. And there is your air suspension. Again, 2-axle air suspension. Right now, it just defaults to the middle setting. I'll do a cutaway later on showing you how it goes up and how it goes down. Last thing I want to show you is the massive panoramic sunroof with a darker interior, also known as a black interior. It really helps open up the cabin quite a lot. A quick dip into the different drive modes. We're going to start with Hybrid Eco Pro. That gives us the least amount of resistance. I'll get the car up to around 60 and foot's off the gas pedal. And you can see the needle here is right in the middle. It hasn't dipped down into the charge section. And when your bottom number is blue, it means the X5 is using electric power. And it's just a running tally of just how much mileage you have. I'm going to stop the car for a quick moment. I'll flip drive modes. Now you can flip on the fly, but I want to try and have as much of a even baseline as possible. So now I'm in regular hybrid mode. It says so right there. So let's get the car up to 60 one more time. And foot off. And now it's going right into the charge section. You can see just how fast my speed is decreasing. It's a bit of an oxymoron. You can see the speed decreasing very, very rapidly. And now my foot's back on the gas pedal, speeding up a little bit. Again, back off. And it's in the charge section. And you can see just how rapidly the number is declining. So I'm going to quickly spin around for a moment. And we'll do this in adaptive mode. And I'll show you the same thing. So let's zero it out. Full stop. Okay, now we are in adaptive. You can see it right down there. Again, car up to 60 kilometers an hour. And off. And as soon as my foot comes off, we go straight down to the charge section. And again, 40, 38, 36, 34, 32, 30, and we'll do a comparison again. I'm going to put the car, I'll keep the car in motion. I'm going to go into Hybrid Eco Pro, as you can see right there, back up to 60 for 64, and with the least amount of resistance, it's declining a little bit. I'm going on a slight uphill, but you can see this needle here isn't dipping down into the charge section. Just for the sake of comparison, we're in sport mode. It is very, very responsive and quick, but you don't get that charge meter to be dipped into there. But the regen brakes are kicking in because, again, you can see that the speed is being reduced quite quickly. On the road with the 2021 BMW X5 xDrive 45e. I'll be quiet for a minute and I'm going to start the vehicle. That's it. This sound is me putting it into drive, so I love the silent startup of it. Let's go power figures, and between the 3-liter straight 6 that's turbocharged and the 24 kilowatt per hour battery, we have 389 horsepower, 443 pound-feet of torque. Very high numbers, and it shows on the drive. I'll get to that in a minute. Standard BMW 8-speed automatic transmission here. There is a split on the screen as to what the combustion engine gets and then what the battery gets as far as different horsepower and torque figures. So the drive itself, it drives like an X5. There's not a lot of compromises. Actually, I don't think there's any compromises that BMW has made here. It's still, you know, their second biggest offering. And yes, I'm counting the X5 being bigger than the X6, with the X7 being at the very top size-wise. And the X5's pretty, I don't want to say nimble. Nimble's, I think, too much of a generous word. That's more of the 3 Series, 5 Series kind of word. But it handles and maneuvers respectably well, considering the size of the vehicle. 0 to 100 in 5.6 seconds, which is 1 second faster than what it was for the outgoing generation, which was the 3rd generation from a couple of years ago. Steering feel not entirely dull, not as sharp and as responsive as 3 Series, 5 Series, but it handles it very well. And there's not a lot of oversteer, not a lot of understeer. There's a tiny bit of turbo lag, but that's to be expected for any vehicle with a turbo on it. Now, range-wise, BMW's website tells me 45. Natural Resources Canada tells me 50. I've gotten 60 at the lowest, and I'm not a slow driver, but I like to look and see what's ahead. So if I can see a light that's red and there's a lineup of cars waiting for it, I'm not going to race up to it. I'll ease off the gas and I'll coast and I'll just look around me. And just being aware of your surroundings will help get you additional range. Being careful on how you use the HVAC system also gives you additional range. How many people you have in the car, because the whole power to rate ratio thing, and that goes along with your stuff and things. So depending on how you drive, you could definitely squeeze out far more than the 45 or the 50 for that matter. And I think it's a weird world for plug-in hybrids, because before the pandemic, people would go to work and plug their cars in, and then by the time their shift or their day is over, the car is fully charged. So really, Monday to Friday, if you lived close enough, like if you had a 20-kilometer commute, you wouldn't need to put any gas in to take you to and from work, provided you work the Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job. And your gas would be maybe used to do groceries or take the kids to sports or whatever it is. But now that the pandemic has taught us we can work from home and really work from anywhere, I don't know how popular the plug-in hybrid electric vehicles are going to be. Yes, it's better for the environment and it saves you on gas costs for sure. I'm not going to spend too much time on what the interior is like. I've done a bunch of X5s from this generation. The very short version is it is comfortable. The technology is top-notch. There's so much of it. This one has the heads-up display and some bells and whistles attached to it. I have no complaints about the inside of the X5. Again, the seats are comfortable. The infotainment system, easy to use, digital dash, absolutely remarkably advanced for what it is. I love that everything's kind of centered here. So the iDrive, one of my favorite infotainment systems. If you go through your household outlet, you know, the thing that you put your hair dryer in and your vacuum into, It's just a little under 18 hours to go from 0% to the full 100% battery. If you were using a charger like you saw me use in the beginning of the video, you're a little over 5 hours, maybe a little under 6, kind of. It's BMW's spec sheet tells me 5.3. Let's go 5.5. Let's just kind of call it right dead center in the middle. And again, that's kind of going back to if you took this to work, charged it at work on an 8-hour shift, you would be fully charged by the time you wrapped up your day. When you're in full EV mode, you are capped at 135 kilometers per hour. Pretty smart move if you need to get the extra juice for whatever reason. If you need to go any faster than 135, just dump it out of EV. Put it into either hybrid, adaptive, or sport mode. Regarding fuel consumption in liters per 100 kilometers, we're on a 69-liter tank of premium fuel because it is a turbocharged BMW engine, and we are at 12.2 on city streets, 10.6 on the highway, and 11.5 as your blended total. It's gonna wrap it up for the 2021 X5, xDrive 45e. If you've got any questions on the vehicle, let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to tell somebody about the channel who you think might be interested. Be well, be healthy, be safe. I appreciate the support, and I will see you in the next video.